Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2021 PIA ACT Awards for Planning Excellence Awards presentation. I am delighted to have the opportunity to MC the ACT Awards presentation tonight. I hope that wherever you are and whoever you're celebrating with, that you enjoy yourself. And we're going to get to know one another as the evening progresses. So let's just start with the basics for now. My name is Sarah Watts. Like many of you, I'm passionate about fostering great outcomes for our cities. I've achieved this through the years as a local government planner, a consultant planner, an advocate, and a small business owner-operator. I'm also heavily invested in the next generation of planners. I've appeared as a guest lecturer and tutor at La Trobe University and the creator and convener of the PIA ACT division of the Women's Planning Network, and I'm a PIA ACT division committee member. Outside the office, my two young boys keep me reasonably entertained. I would like to acknowledge that I'm hosting from the lands of the Ngunnawal people. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you have joined us from today, and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in this event. I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to the land and waters. At the time of the recording, the ACT is in lockdown. Our industry has persevered over the last several weeks of lockdown and shown resilience time and time again over the last 18 months as we've navigated density requirements for site work, our offices, shopping centres, and places we'd normally gather for social outings, working remotely with young children or juggled homeschooling and employment. And we've negotiated sharing living and working quarters with our partners. I've heard tales of my peers converting their apartment living areas into a dojo by night so that they could record classes and stream them online. Partners working at either end of their kitchen tables. People in apartments with long children having to relocate to their cars for some alone time throughout the day. Peers that have, now how do I phrase this for our evening viewing, kept the spark alive within their relationships by planning elaborate around the world themed dinners for one another and walking around those places via Google Street View, and countless appearances from pets, children and partners in Teams or Zoom meetings. Despite these logistical working and living challenges, we've clearly been a very productive bunch. Certainly in my household, my colleagues and clients have gotten to know my 1.5 and 3.5-year-old boys as they regularly make cameo appearances. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage everyone to check in with your colleagues, friends, and neighbours during these unprecedented times. Most importantly, look after yourself. Hopefully next year, we will be able to meet and celebrate together without any uncertainty. Tonight is a cause for celebration. Wherever you are, whoever you're with, tonight we celebrate the achievements of our peers, our colleagues, and some of their brightest ideas. The planning of Canberra and its future is at a pivotal point in time and depends on trained professionals such as those recognised in the PIA ACT membership and as registered planners. We would not exist without our members. Thank you for your continued support of PIA ACT and to everyone for coming along this evening. Also, I would like to welcome all fellows and life fellows who have joined us tonight. We wish to acknowledge your ongoing contributions to the profession and PIA. Tonight's presentation would not be possible without the generous support of our platinum partner, the ACT government. We would like to acknowledge and recognise their contribution for making this happen. Also, thank you to our major partner for your support. Now I would like to introduce Minister Mick Gentleman, MLA, Minister for Planning and Land Management, to give us a few words.
Hi, I'm Mick Gentleman, your Minister for Planning and Land Management, and we're at one of the most iconic buildings here in Canberra, the Museum of Democracy, or the original Parliament House. It's had such an input on how planning has been achieved throughout Canberra. And on planning, in the ACT government, we're working on a new planning and reform process to bring you a more up-to-date planning system, more efficient and easier to use system. So I hope that everybody's on board and we have your say into the future. For all the nominees tonight, congratulations, and all the award winners, well done to you all.
Now I would like to invite the ACT President, Rob Fenner, and the ACT YP Convener, Bradley Fraser, for the 2021 wrap-up of PIA ACT. Before they take the stage, I would briefly take the opportunity to summarise the activities the Women's Planning Network has also achieved this year. The Women's Planning Network was launched via a sellout event commemorating International Women's Day at the beginning of the year via the ACT PIA Women's Planning Network International Women's Day Breakfast. Here we were able to gather together and celebrate the achievements of our peers. We have since been able to gather together another 3 times in person this year for social and networking events, and once together via virtual coffee catch-up during the ACT's lockdown. These opportunities have enabled us to maintain social connections and discuss those issues relevant to the network. Without further ado, I'd now like to introduce Rolf Fenner, ACT President, for his overview of the year.
Thank you, Sarah. What a roller coaster of a year. I was particularly pleased that the ACT Divisional Committee were able to run several well-attended and interesting events. These being the ACT's Women's Planning Network International Women's Day Breakfast, the ACAT Year in Review, the walking tours of Ginninderry and Canberra University campus, and the National Awards for Planning Excellence viewing party. Our advocacy in the area of climate change, housing affordability, and planning reform principles, I believe, will also pay dividends with our ongoing engagement with the ACT government. Whilst very disappointing, I remain confident that our postponed Alison Burton Memorial Lecture Dinner, Faster Rail and Regional Development Symposium, and the Capital Region Symposium can all be delivered in 2022. Finally, can I take this opportunity to sincerely thank my ACT committee colleagues, especially VP Imogen Featherstone, the policy convener, Ian Wood-Bradley, and the ACT Young Planners convener, Brad Fraser. Big thank yous also go out to Michelle Yim, Audrey Marsh, and David Williams in the National Office. And of course, thanks again to Life Fellow Liz de Chastel and this year's judging panel. Now I would like to introduce our ACT YP convener, Brad Fraser.
Thank you, Rolf. This year, the ACT Young Planners have been actively exploring ways to grow our networks and professional outreach. Notable achievements have been the relaunching of the ACT Mentoring Program. Other projects have included our ongoing outreach to ACT schools, where we seek to promote planning as a career to young people. During the Planning Festival, the ACT Young Planners collaborated with our Tasmanian colleagues to deliver an online webinar where we explored the planning challenges faced by Australia's 2 island-based jurisdictions. In the policy advocacy space, the ACT Young Planners welcomed the opportunity to contribute ideas towards the ACT Division's response to the PIA climate change campaign. Tonight, I wish all the nominees best of luck.
Hi everyone, Obelia Tate from Inhabit Place here, speaking to you from the lands of the Ngunnawal people. Thank you for the opportunity to reflect on winning the ACT and National Award for improving planning processes and practices in 2020. We are grateful to the Planning Institute of Australia and particularly the 2020 jury for recognising our work. The year since winning this award has been, as you would all understand, challenging and different. So it speaks to the strength of our product that in these circumstances, we've been able to continue expanding, running projects in Canberra, Western Australia, Tasmania and Auckland. As well, winning the City of Melbourne Emerging Technology Testbed Challenge and establishing an ongoing partnership with the UN Habitat Global Public Space Program. The PIA Award gave us another platform to let people know about Inhabit Place, and the validation from winning these awards gave us, a young team with a new idea, confidence to push on during these uncertain and difficult months. For all of this, thank you, PIA.
Thank you for the winner's reflection clip. It seems like the team has been busy since winning the ACT Awards and the National Awards. Isn't it wonderful to see a Canberra-born product being recognised at the national level? I know I caught up with Eliza separately to discuss the capabilities of the tool and some of the ACT examples of its success. There is really something to be said for the ability to confirm a community's truth about a place use that information in the design of works to improve or revitalise the space, and ultimately then to inform decision making. Well done, team. Now I would like to introduce Liz DeChastel, 2021 PIA ACT Awards Judge Convener. I'd also like to thank the judging panel for their time and expertise and their involvement with the awards.
Thank you, Sarah. So last year when I presented these awards online, I was convinced that it was going to be a one-off. But 12 months later, here we are again, and I'm really hoping that this is the last of the virtual ACT Awards and that next year we will be celebrating in person together. At this event, it is worth reflecting about the important role that the planning profession has in community and economic well-being now and in the recovery phase. And during the last year, with COVID restrictions, we have again seen the importance of quality designed local places for community well-being. In my suburb, for example, I've noticed many more people out and about with their kids, their bikes, their dogs and footballs, enjoying the walking trails and local parks. It's also a reminder that we need to be looking out for each other, considering the pressures of working from home, now back in the office for some of us, being isolated from family and friends, and having travel and study plans changed. But despite all of these challenges, these awards allow us to reflect and celebrate our achievements and point to optimism looking ahead to the COVID recovery and beyond. So this year I was fortunate to have a team of excellent judges deliberate on the assessments. And I'd really like to thank Andrew Connor, Anne Moroney and Abelia Tate for their great contributions on the judging panel. I'd also like to mention Michelle Yim from the Planning Institute Australia office, who does an excellent job behind the scenes with the organisation of the awards. Thank you, Michelle. We had nominations across 7 categories this year, and some of these are new categories. Overall, we were very impressed by the depth and scope of the nominations this year. We also noted that many of the nominations undertook these projects during COVID restrictions, and we were impressed with the innovation in adapting to these new conditions, especially where community consultation is involved. It's also great that we have such a good turnout tonight to help celebrate the excellent work being done by planning professionals in the ACT and surrounding region. Lastly, I would like to thank our platinum partner, the ACT Government, for your generous support for the 2021 PIA ACT Awards for Planning Excellence.
We want our cities to be places that function well, cities where people enjoy exploring, living, working, and places that have some surprises too. As planners, we have an important and exciting role in making great cities. The land of the Ngunnawal people, the location for Canberra, was chosen to be our nation's capital and to maximise its natural environment. Canberra is a city in the landscape. It's a place that offers livability as well as access to a rich natural environment. It has many attractions, both natural and built. Importantly, Canberra continues to be a growing city. Since 1970, it has grown from around 100,000 people to more than 420,000. By 2045, we expect the population to grow to more than 600,000. It is a planned city and has good bones and structure. Like any city, how we plan and manage growth can be challenging. Having a vision is critical. For Canberra, our vision is expressed through our planning strategy. We are planning for a city that is compact and efficient, a city that doesn't endlessly sprawl and functions well. We want a city that is livable for all, a city that provides for and supports diversity. We need a city that is accessible to its residents and visitors, a city that is sustainable and works with and conserves our natural environment. Taking an integrated and holistic view of things is natural for planning and critical to address the opportunities and challenges we face. Our climate is warming, and that's impacting our environment. The way we live and want to live is changing. Technology is changing how we work, move around, meet with friends and interact with our built environments. We need to plan for the future and to be adaptable. We are already planning for and addressing these challenges. We're currently working with the community and industry to review and reform the planning system to reflect this modern vision of Canberra. It will integrate our policies for transport, climate change, housing and infrastructure to respond to our changing world, and create a planning system that is easy to understand and can adapt to the challenges of the future. We already have a great city, and as planners we have a huge responsibility, one which excites me, to plan for and grow our city and region to be modern, sustainable and a great place to live.
Before we start the announcements, I would like to thank the judge convener and the judging panel for their time and contribution to the ACT Awards. Today we have 7 categories to announce, so let's start with the first category. The first category is Great Place. This category recognises a great place, street or neighbourhood that has a true sense of place, cultural and historical interest, community involvement and a vision for tomorrow. Judges have awarded 1 commendation for this category. The commendation goes to Dixon Pool Forecourt by Environment Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate with City Renewal Authority, Transport Canberra and City Services, ACT Property Group, Suburban Land Agency, Dixon Aquatic Centre, Complete Constructions, Place Laboratory, Lime Smith and the Arbour Centre. Drawing visitors from across Canberra, the Dixon Pool is an iconic community facility. The pool forecourt was identified by the community as an important public space in need of upgrade and attention. The judges commend the innovative approach taken to its rejuvenation. The combination of permanent fixtures and light touch movable interventions allows for new ideas to be tested prior to long-term investment. The intervention provided joy to users of the pool, cementing the forecourt as a place to meet friends and family en route to the pool and when visiting the wider Dixon area. The judges noted the design to take a tactical urbanism project underpinned by participative planning processes and driven by before, during, after monitoring, and evaluation through place audits sets a new benchmark for public space delivery in the ACT. Congratulations.
Yuma and hello from Ngunnawal country. The ACT Government Environment Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate thanks PIA for the recognition for the Dixon Pool Forecourt in Canberra. Thanks go to everyone who helped make this happen in Major Projects Canberra, City Renewal Authority, Transport Canberra and City Services, ACT Property Group and Suburban Land Agency, Chris and the team at Dixon Aquatic Centre, Complete Constructions, Place Laboratory, Sonia Vanderhaar and the Arbour Centre, and of course the community, organisations and businesses that make this part of Dixon such a great place. This shows how collaborative planning and urban renewal processes can deliver great community outcomes. Thanks to PIA and all the other entrants for the awards. To Jan Yamaba, thank you.
Thank you, Anton, and congratulations to the team. Now I'd like to announce the second category, Strategic Planning Project. This award recognises an outstanding strategic planning project, which includes regional plans, structure plans, master plans, infrastructure plans, planning schemes and similar. Judges have bestowed 1 commendation and 1 award for planning excellence for this category. The commendation goes to Red Hill and Surrounds Integrated Plan by ACT Government Environment Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate. As our city grows and evolves, there is a need to reimagine underutilised and ageing assets to unlock their potential for the next generation. The Red Hill and Surrounds Integrated Plan demonstrates a pathway to deal with this complex problem. Rather than resorting to traditional planning processes, this project sought a collaborative approach to address the concerns of interested parties, including neighbourhood character, protection of the natural environment, housing choice, access and amenity. The judges commended this innovative approach to balance competing constraints and challenges. The integrated plan provides for the protection of an important inner city nature reserve alongside enabling neighbourhood appropriate development of an underutilised golf course. Congratulations.
Thank you for this acknowledgement. I'm accepting this on behalf of the entire team who worked on this plan, but particularly Caroline Sayers from the Territory Plan team. Caroline put in an immense amount of effort to develop the Red Hill Integrated Plan. This involved many discussions with Community Council and resident group representatives, environmental organisations, the lessees and development proponents of the blocks, and several ACT government agencies and the NCA. I'd also like to thank the communications team within the EPSCD for all their hard work organising the consultation processes for the integrated plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and congratulations to the team. Now for the Award for Planning Excellence. Awards for Planning Excellence goes to the University of Canberra Campus Master Plan by MGS Architects, Turf Design Studio, Canberra Town Planning, New Learning Environments, WSP, Waters Consulting and Vector Consulting. As COVID-19 threatens to undermine the university sector in Australia, the University of Canberra Campus Master Plan provides a vision for an education campus of the future. The Campus Master Plan brings together meaningful engagement processes, contemporary community and education planning, sustainability and reconciliation around a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to draw the Belconnen Town Centre to civic light rail corridor through the campus. The judges were impressed by the scale and vision of the Campus Master Plan, which proposes a series of connected neighbourhoods supported by active travel networks and looks to bring the academic and broader community together. The celebration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture into the built environment, alongside the placement of ecology and biodiversity at the centre of the plan, was applauded. Congratulations to the team.
We're really thankful for this recognition, and it was obviously a result of an enormous amount of collaboration between a number of different consultant teams. So I'd like to thank each of those teams for their involvement. For landscape architecture, we had Turf Design Studio. For pedagogy, New Learning Environments. Town Planning, Canberra Town Planning. Infrastructure, ESC and Traffic was WSP. Digital consulting was provided by Vector Consulting. Indigenous engagement was led by Kate Waters at Kate Waters Consultancy. And student stakeholder engagement during the stage 1 of the process was led by Elton Consulting. But of course, we were really guided by the fantastic team at the University of Canberra and their campus estates team. So thank you so much to all of the people at that team for their professional process, right from the beginning of the EOI all the way through to completion. As I said, it was just a fantastic collaborative process. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Elliot. Congratulations to both teams on winning the award and the commendation. Now I'd like to announce the next category, Improving Planning Processes. This award recognises a significant improvement in planning process or major planning reform, which leads to good planning outcomes undertaken by a planner, planning authorities and development entities. The judging panel has bestowed 1 commendation and 1 award for planning excellence for this category. The commendation goes to ACT Staged Assessment and Decision-Making Model by ACT Government, Environment, Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate. The judges commended EPSDT for the implementation of new internal processes to facilitate the processing of large numbers of development applications, whilst ensuring consistency for applicants and integrity for planners. The reorganisation is anticipated to deliver positive planning processes in the short to medium term as broader planning reform is undertaken. The wellbeing of employees is central to the new internal processes, alongside many other identified benefits, including early identification of key assessment issues, consistency in assessment and decision-making, even distribution of workflows, more flexibility for team members, shared responsibility, and more robust decision-making processes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Pia. I'm honoured to receive this acknowledgement on behalf of the Directorate. The biggest appreciation goes out to the statutory planning team. The stage assessment model has been founded on teamwork to protect the integrity of planning decisions in the ACT. This project and the benefits it brings to planning decision making would have been impossible without the great support of a wonderful team of assessment planners over the past few years. Thank you on behalf of the whole team.
Thank you, George, and congratulations to the team. And now for the award for planning excellence. Awards for planning excellence goes to the ACT Planning System Review and Reform Project Directions Papers by the ACT Government, Environment, Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate. The judges were impressed by the scope of this ambitious project, which sets the scene for the drafting and implementation of the next stage of planning reform. They recognised the scale of the task in transitioning the planning system and commended the directions set by the plain English focus papers. Integrating national and international benchmarking alongside meaningful community engagement promotes an evidence-based approach to planning review and reform, whilst acknowledging and incorporating the voice of the community. The 2018 ACT Planning Strategy sets out a bold vision for the transformation of our city's urban form, which can only be achieved if the ideas within this piece of work are successfully translated into planning reform. Congratulations.
Thank you, Pia. On behalf of the EPSDD team, we're honoured to receive this recognition from our peers. I'd like to give a shout out to my colleagues, Alex Couch, Anthony Burton and Aaron Osher. We've set the directions for a new planning system for the ACT, a system that will be easier to use, encourage greater participation and lead to better outcomes. Key features will be a new planning act, a new territory plan, a new level of strategic planning for districts and greater design guidance. There's still a lot to do though before the new planning system starts in 2023. Thanks Pia for organising this celebration of planning achievements, and warm congratulations to all the award winners.
Congratulations to both teams and thank you, Liz. The next category is Community Wellbeing and Diversity. This award recognises initiatives that achieve outstanding social sustainability outcomes. The award will focus on planning for communities, in other words, planning for people. Judges have bestowed one commendation and one award for planning excellence for this category. The commendation goes to Queanbeyan Civic and Cultural Precinct by SMEC Australia, Queanbeyan Pelarang Regional Council and Cox Architecture. The judges commended the focus on community wellbeing and diversity for this catalyst project in the heart of Queanbeyan. Once finalised, the precinct will create a central destination for the community, providing arts and cultural offering in a heritage setting. The inclusion of a smart hub to provide a dynamic shared work environment for local business people will further strengthen Queanbeyan as a live work environment. The judges noted the bringing together of council's workforce as a bold move to reinvigorate Queanbeyan's central business district. Congratulations to the team.
SMEC is thrilled to accept this recognition for the Community Wellbeing and Diversity Award for the Queanbeyan Civic and Cultural Precinct. SMEC has been working with Cox Architecture and Queanbeyan Pelarang Regional Council since 2017 on this exciting and transformative project. The project will provide new council offices, releasing a number of existing council-owned properties in Queanbeyan into the market. It's envisaged that this will drive investment in the regeneration of the CBD as a vibrant, active and safe place for all of the community. The public plaza at the centre of this project will provide a flexible space for use by different community groups throughout the day and night. We are really excited to have been a part of this project and look forward to seeing it bring the community together.
Thank you, Sophie. Congratulations to the team. Now for the award for planning excellence. Awards for planning excellence goes to the Downer Residential Precinct by CHC Australia. This development is a great example of participatory planning processes in action. The judges were impressed by the transition of this former school site into a medium density residential precinct that respected community input, heritage and ecological constraints, social inclusion, and delivered both aged care and affordable housing. The balancing of these competing interests through an inclusive master planning process leading to land rezoning and 3 stages of development is a credit to CHC Australia and their consultancy team. Community wellbeing and diversity is evident in both the processes undertaken and outcomes being achieved through this project.
I'm truly honoured to accept this Community Wellbeing and Diversity Award tonight on behalf of the board and staff of Community Housing Canberra. Our project has been close to a 10-year journey and has very much been a collaborative effort involving the local community and government throughout, with such engagement having been critical to achieving social sustainability outcomes in terms of health, wellbeing and diversity of the community. A massive thank you to our planners, Canberra Town Planning, who have been instrumental in this engagement, our architects, AMC, Development Manager, Lockbridge, builders, project coordination and Chase, and our many other advisors along the way. A big thank you to the board and past senior leaders of CHC for your foresight and for taking the required investment decisions along the way. My final thanks is to the team at CHC for your sound management of execution of the design and construction process, led by current Head of Development, Ahmed Munir, and the operating phase, which is led by GM Operations, Megan Ward. Well done.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Rolf, and congratulations to all the winners so far. It's great to see so many familiar faces and projects within the award categories. What an excellent collection of projects that demonstrate ways to revitalise place, deliver urban design and streetscape works with the community at the forefront of the design. Thank you all for your contribution to these exemplary proposals. Now I would like to present the next category, stakeholder engagement. This award recognises initiatives and outcomes in implementing best practice public engagement that achieves genuine collaborative outcomes that leads to improved built form, planning process, and social outcomes. Judges have bestowed 2 commendations and 1 award for planning excellence in this category. The first commendation goes to Managing Buildings Better, Unit Titles Reform Project Consultative Group by ACT Environment, Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate. Unit living and mixed-use developments are a key part of Canberra's housing market. The judges commend the stakeholder engagement approach employed in this project to address the complex and challenging issues faced by the development, governance and management of unit title buildings in the ACT. The wide-ranging consultative group established to advise on multiple reform tranches demonstrated positive collaboration integral to the successful introductions of the unit titles reforms in the ACT. Congratulations.
Well, a big thank you to the Planning Institute of Australia for this significant honour and recognising the hard work being done by the Housing Strategy and Unit Title Reform team at EPSDD. The Unit Title Reform Project is an important body of work, especially as the outcomes aim to deliver improvements for the people who live and work in units in the ACT. We actually realised pretty early on in the project that focused and constructive consultation was needed to achieve the best outcomes for the community. We are actually very grateful to the members of the Unit Titles Reforms Consultative Group for all their hard work and expertise. They not only volunteered their time, but also devoted hours to reviewing information and participating in very lengthy and robust conversations. So thank you very much. Thank you also to our other colleagues in the EPSDD, past and present, and to our executives for all their support. And a big shout out to the other ACT government directorates for all their help too. We look forward to engaging further with our stakeholders as the project progresses into the next stages. And we also encourage anyone who wants to know more to visit the Build, Buy, Renovate website and follow the links to the Managing Building Better reforms. So thank you again to the Planning Institute of Australia and to everyone who helped. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn. Congratulations to the team. The second commendation goes to Section 76 Watson by Environment Planning and Sustainable Development Directorate, with Dawura Ngunnawal Caring for Country Committee, Tate Network, Transport Canberra and City Services, and Suburban Land Agency. The judges commend the high-quality engagement practices designed to inform the planning of this inner-city infill site and for protecting its ecological values. The engagement approach demonstrated adaptability and strength in its design by being able to be mindful of COVID-19 challenges while still providing extensive and diverse activities to reach a broad cross-section of the community. The judges were impressed by this project's delivery of a flexible program of engagement allowing for the voices to be heard in a meaningful manner. Congratulations.
Thank you for PIA's recognition for our community engagement on the place plan and development concept for Watson Section 76. We are all working in difficult times, and so we are really pleased that this project has been recognised. The current challenges associated with COVID-19 pandemic has meant we've had to rethink how we deliver community engagement programs across the ACT, and our hope is that this project could be an example of how this could be done. Working with the Watson Community Association early in the project was an important step to identify all the key stakeholders and how the community wanted to be engaged. This helped the project team to gain valuable insights and contributions from community. I want to thank those who contributed to the project, including the Watson community, Tate Network, EPSDD's Communication and Engagement Team, the Dawura Ngunnawal Caring for Country Committee, ACT Parks and Conservation, the Climate Change and Energy Division of EPSDD, Transport Canberra and City Services, and the Suburban Land Agency.
Thank you, Naya, and congratulations to the team. 2021 Award for Planning Excellence goes to Land Release Sites in the Belconnen Town Centre Place Design Brief by Suburban Land Agency, Place Laboratory, Town Team Movement, Tactics 4, and Murray Matters. The judges recognise that the collaborative approach developed in the Place Design Brief demonstrated leading practice for building meaningful stakeholder engagement, bringing together community, Indigenous people, industry, and government for complex infill sites in a town centre setting. Based on a rating system that defines undesirable, successful, and highly desirable place outcomes, the Place Design Brief provides a performance-based guide focused on local urban experiences. The judges recognise that as a tool, this approach can be used to guide built environment professionals, developers, and community members to articulate the values underpinning a locality's sense of place in order to achieve high-quality public realm outcomes and high-quality urban experiences. Congratulations.
Thank you for this recognition for our place-led engagement process for the land release sites in the Belconnen Town Centre. The Suburban Land Agency prides itself on its vision to deliver great places where new and existing communities thrive. The work undertaken by the Belconnen community in this project has been published as the Place Design Brief, an urban experience guide demonstrating the desired place outcomes for future design and development of the land. Our special thanks goes out to all those members of the community who were involved. We share this award with them and our interdisciplinary consultancy team, Place Laboratory, Town Team Movement, Tactics 4 and Murray Matters for their wonderful contributions and thoughtful leadership.
Thank you, Arena. Congratulations to all the teams. The next category is Technology and Digital Innovation. This award recognises the importance of technology and digital innovation in 21st century planning. Digital opportunities and adapting technology to assist planning in our changing environment is critical. This award recognises the value that digital innovation and technology processes provide for planners, planning authorities, and development entities. Judges have bestowed one award for planning excellence in this category. I would like to invite Minister Mick Gentleman, MLA, to announce the winner for this category.
Tonight's winner is Richard Hu from the University of Canberra. Congratulations, Richard.
Smart Design, Disruption, Crisis, and the Reshaping of Urban Spaces by Richard Hu, University of Canberra. The judges commend the leadership set down in this Smart Design Manifesto, advancing new and innovative ideas in smart urbanism and addressing the change head-on. This work provides established practitioners and the next generation alike with a framework to consider new design approaches to address the dynamic disruptors reshaping our urban spaces. Congratulations, Richard.
I feel honored to have this recognition of my work in technology and digital innovation. I'd like to thank my students at the University of Canberra who often ask me questions that I don't always have ready answers. I should also thank my 7-year-old boy, Hu Fugui. Hu Fugui gave me great inspirations for shaping a better place and a better world for the future generations.
Congratulations to all the award and commendation winners. Last but not least, a very important category, Young Planner of the Year. On behalf of the ACT Young Planners, it is my honour to present this award. Judges have bestowed one commendation for this category. The commendation goes to Jin Zhang, Purdon Planning. Jin exemplifies the qualities sought in emerging planners. She is highly valued by her employer, providing leadership and peer support, and by introducing innovation to complex projects. Jin couples her dedication to the planning profession through active participation in the ACT PIA committee and mentoring program. Her accomplishment as a young planner with English as a second language establishes her as a role model to young women and non-English speaking background planners to engage in the profession and in the workplace. Congratulations, Jin.
Thank you so much. I'm extremely honored to be receiving this acknowledgement for the PIA ACT Division's Young Planner of the Year. Thank you to those who nominated me and supported my nomination, and a big thank you to the award judging panel for the acknowledgement of my work. In recognizing the contribution of young planners, I believe PIA and this award will encourage young planners into the industry, promote professionalism in the industry, and ultimately strengthen decision-making around urban planning. A very special thank you to my colleagues from Purdon Planning for all your support. I feel very lucky to be part of a great team, especially having someone like Trevor Fitzpatrick as a mentor. He has a wealth of knowledge and experience that inspires us all to be better planners. I'm delighted to accept this acknowledgement and thank you all.
And now we must conclude the 2021 PIA ACT Awards for Planning Excellence Awards presentation. I hope everyone has enjoyed themselves tonight. I would like to thank our Platinum partner, the ACT Government, for your generous support for tonight's event. Thank you to all who submitted nominations for the 2021 ACT Awards for Planning Excellence. We hope more of you are encouraged to submit entries next year and keep remembering that all of you make such a valuable contribution to this city. Congratulations to the awards and commendation winners tonight. Winners' details will now be available on the PIA ACT website. All winners will move to be nominees for the 2022 PIA National Awards for Planning Excellence, which will be presented as part of the Planning Congress in Hobart in May 2022. We hope the ACT winners get good results like we have this year. Thank you to Liz, Ralph, and Brad for being part of the presentation with me tonight. Take care and stay safe if you choose to continue celebrating into the night. Thank you for joining us this evening. Good night.